Have you ever stopped to truly listen to the silence? Not just the absence of sound, but its profound, resonant presence. Imagine for a moment, when was the last time you experienced true silence? Not the forced quiet of a library, but the silence that emerges naturally when we stop resisting and simply allow ourselves to be. Right now, as you listen to these words, can you sense the space between them? Can you feel the vast stillness that holds every sound? In a world that constantly screams for our attention, where smartphones buzz with urgency, emails demand immediate responses, social media floods our minds with endless streams of information, and the relentless pressure to be productive never ceases. Silence has become a rare and precious commodity. We live in what scientists call the most distracted generation in history. Our attention spans have shrunk to mere seconds at a time. We have grown accustomed to the noise. We've learned to fear the quiet, because in silence we are forced to confront who we truly are without the masks of constant busyness we use to hide from ourselves. We fill every moment with podcasts, music, conversations, activities, anything to avoid the terrifying prospect of being alone with our thoughts. But what if I told you that this fear is misplaced? What if the silence we will explore together is not an empty void, but the most nurturing space you could ever discover? It is a space to be inhabited, a landscape to be explored, a sanctuary where your soul can finally breathe freely. It is the gateway to the vast, quiet sanctuary that exists within your own mind, waiting patiently for your return. Think of this. Your mind is like an ocean. On the surface, there are constant waves, storms of thoughts that never stop moving and churning. The wind of external pressures whips up these waves into tsunamis of anxiety, worry, regret, and anticipation. But in the depths of that ocean, there exists an unshakable calm, a stillness that remains steady even when the surface is turbulent. Deep-sea divers know this secret. The deeper you go, the more peaceful it becomes, regardless of what's happening above. In this chapter, we will become deep-sea explorers of consciousness. We will turn the page on chaos and discover inner tranquility. We will learn the ancient and gentle art of mindful silence, and in doing so, we will come home to the profound peace that has been patiently waiting for us all along. But first, we must understand what keeps us away from this peace. We must become intimate with our patterns, our mental habits, the unconscious ways we create our own suffering. Our minds, by their very nature, are relentless storytellers. From the moment we wake up, they begin their endless narratives. They weave intricate tales of the past, dissecting every conversation, analyzing every facial expression, replaying every awkward moment, every perceived failure, every word we wish we hadn't said. Like detectives obsessed with cold cases, our minds examine evidence that no longer exists, searching for clues to mysteries that can never be solved because they're already over. Then they spin elaborate fantasies of the future, creating detailed scenarios of worry and fear. They rehearse conversations that may never happen, prepare arguments for conflicts that exist only in imagination, and catastrophize about problems that haven't occurred and likely never will. Meanwhile, the present moment, the only moment that actually exists, slips by, unnoticed, unlived, unappreciated. They are filled with a constant churning river of thoughts, a relentless inner monologue that we often mistake for the core of who we are. We become so identified with this voice that we forget there's a choice. We think, this is just who I am. I'm an anxious person. I'm a worrier. I can't help but overthink everything. But here's a revolutionary truth that can change your life forever. You are not your thoughts. This constant mental commentary is what ancient traditions call the noise within, or the monkey mind. Picture a monkey in a cage, leaping frantically from bar to bar, never settling, never still. It jumps from one thought branch to another, from yesterday's embarrassment to tomorrow's deadline, from self-criticism to fantasy, from planning to worrying, never resting in the present. It judges our every action against impossible standards of perfection. It compares us endlessly to others, always finding us lacking. It creates elaborate mental prisons, intricate labyrinths of limitation where we become trapped. Walls built from our own thoughts, bars forged from our own beliefs about what we can and cannot do. This chaotic storm of mental chatter can leave us feeling overwhelmed, anxious, exhausted, and utterly disconnected from the beauty of the present moment. We become like passengers on a runaway train of thought, watching our life rush by through the window, but never actually living it. But pause for a moment right now. Take a slow, deep breath. Can you sense something deeper beneath all that mental noise? Can you feel that there's a part of you that's aware of the thoughts, observing them like clouds passing through the sky of your awareness, but isn't caught up in their drama? That's your true self emerging. That's the witness, the observer, the conscious awareness that exists beyond the chatter of the thinking mind. This constant mental activity is not only emotionally exhausting, it physically drains our energy, clouds our vision and judgment, and blocks our ability to connect with the deep well of intuition and wisdom that lies dormant within each of us, waiting to be awakened. Scientists now know that chronic overthinking actually changes the brain, strengthening neural pathways of anxiety and weakening areas responsible for peace, creativity, and clear thinking. To find the silence, we must first become intimately acquainted with the noise. We must learn to observe it without being swept away by its current. We must become like a scientist studying a fascinating phenomenon, curious rather than judgmental, interested rather than identified. The first and most crucial step is to understand this liberating truth. You are not your thoughts. You are something far more profound. You are the silent, spacious awareness that observes them, like the vast, unmoving sky that holds both the fiercest storms and gentlest clouds without being disturbed by either. The sky remains untouched, unchanged, perfect in its infinite openness. This is your fundamental nature. This recognition is the first step toward reclaiming your inner peace. So how do we quiet this inner storm? How do we find that elusive stillness? How do we stop being victims of our own mental patterns? The answer lies not in fighting the mind with more mental effort and force. That would be like trying to calm turbulent water by hitting it with a stick. The more you fight your thoughts, the more powerful they become. Instead, the path to peace is found in giving the mind a gentle anchor, a focal point that naturally draws our attention away from the chaos of thoughts and into the sanctuary of the present moment, where peace naturally exists. The answer is as simple and profound as the very air we breathe. In the ancient art of mindfulness, the breath becomes our sacred anchor. It is the one constant, rhythmic companion that has been with us since birth. Through every joy and sorrow, every triumph and challenge, it is a faithful guide that can tether us to the sanctuary of now, gently pulling us away from the ghosts of the past and the phantoms of the future. Your breath is democracy in action. It belongs to no religion, no philosophy. It's always available, always present, always here, waiting patiently for you to remember its power to bring you home to yourself. Let us begin this sacred practice together. This is your invitation to freedom. Find a comfortable position, one that allows your spine to be straight yet relaxed, like a mountain that is both strong and at ease. Imagine roots growing from the base of your spine deep into the earth below you, grounding you, stabilizing you, connecting you to the planet's energy. You might sit upright in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, feeling that solid connection to the earth, or rest cross-legged on a cushion. Allow your hands to rest gently in your lap or on your knees, palms facing upward in a gesture of openness and receptivity, as if you're ready to receive whatever gifts this moment offers. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears, releasing any tension you're carrying from the day, the week, the month, or even the years. When you are ready, and only when you feel completely settled and safe, gently close your eyes. Begin by bringing your awareness to the weight and presence of your body. Feel the points of contact between you and the surface that supports you. Notice how your body is perfectly supported, how gravity holds you in place without any effort on your part. Feel the firm, steady support of the ground beneath you, holding you, securing you, reminding you that in this moment you are completely safe here. Let any tension in your shoulders melt away like warm honey in sunlight. Allow your jaw to soften and unclench, your tongue to rest gently in the bottom of your mouth, your forehead to smooth like calm water. You have nowhere else to be, nothing else to accomplish, no problems to solve in this moment, except be fully present with yourself. This is your time, your space, your sacred appointment with silence. Now, let us gently guide our attention to our sacred anchor, the breath. Bring your awareness to your breathing, but resist any urge to control or change it. Simply observe it, like a curious scientist studying a beautiful natural phenomenon, or like a loving parent watching their child sleep peacefully. Become a gentle witness to the natural rhythm of your body. Feel the sensation of cool, fresh air entering your nostrils. Perhaps noticing it is slightly cooler on the way in, clean and life-giving. Follow that precious breath as it travels down into your lungs like a gentle wave, expanding your chest and your abdomen, filling every cell with vital life force. Feel your ribs expanding like wings, your belly rising like a gentle hill, and then follow it all the way out, noticing how the air is slightly warmer as it leaves your body, carrying with it any stress, any tension, any worry you've been holding on to without even realizing it. Notice the gentle, rhythmic rise and fall of your chest with each breath cycle. Like waves on a peaceful shore, your breath flows in and flows out, connecting you to the rhythm of life itself. Just rest your complete attention here, on this simple, beautiful dance between your body and the universe, this intimate conversation between your inner world and the air around you. In ... and out. In this focused attention, something magical begins to happen. Your mind will inevitably wander. This is not just normal, it's expected. A thought will arise about your day, a memory will surface, a sound will distract you, a plan will form in your mind. This is not a failure or a mistake or a sign that you're doing this wrong. It is simply what untrained minds do. They wander like curious children exploring a fascinating playground, drawn to every shiny object. The moment you notice your attention has drifted and you will notice. Gently acknowledge the thought without judgment or self-criticism. See it as a passing cloud in the vast sky of your awareness, pleading, no more permanent, than smoke dissipating in the wind. And then, with the same tenderness, you would show a dear friend who had lost their way. Softly guide your focus back to your faithful companion, the breath, back to this moment.